What's going on, guys? It's lawyer Mickle here, and today we're getting into a recent document published by Judge Netburn, and essentially it is her decision in terms of Ripple forcing the SEC to answer a bunch of questions about the case. I read through this entire document. I am actually not a lawyer, but I was able to get some pretty good information about the general premise of what was going on here. I've gotten pretty good at reading these legal documents from following this case this entire time. So I'm going to give you guys what I've been able to derive from this. It might help you pick through the document yourself. And I think even I was able to find some pretty explosive stuff stated in here. So guys, you're definitely going to want to see this. And let's jump right into this video. So guys, like I stated, I am definitely not a lawyer, but I am going to give you my perspective on this document anyway. I think it'll be kind of fun to go through. It's pretty cool. Reading these documents can be kind of fun, and I'll try to make it nice and simple so you guys can understand this pretty easily and at least walk away with a general idea of what was stated until Jeremy Hogan really breaks it down for us and we can really understand what we're talking about here. Also, make sure if you guys are new here, you subscribe to the channel. It really helps me so much. And if we get to 10,000 subs, I'll even make my bed. So let's jump right into this. So this document was pretty crazy. In my last video, I really noted that the extension of time didn't really matter because when it came down to the actual ruling, the judge was always ruling in favor of Ripple, and it seems like once in a while she just tosses the SEC a bone and it's like, all right, now don't complain when this is over, I'll throw you this extra time. But when it comes down to ruling like this, she is almost always in favor of ruling for Ripple, and it really shows that I believe in the end she believes Ripple's going to win this. She doesn't see XRP as a security, and we're going to be making off nice when this is all over. So let's jump right into this. And the first thing that I enjoyed reading was she says that the SEC's theories of liability and further support of their defense, and I just thought it was funny that automatically, rather than going for Ripple's theories, she's calling them the SEC's theories. I don't know how much this means, but I feel like words mean things. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So I also thought this was pretty interesting. Judge Netburn says, accordingly, the court takes no position on these legal issues in resolving this motion and evaluates each dispute interrogatory, considering its purpose and the potential concerns raised. Essentially, what she's saying is like all the stuff like in this document is all really important to the case itself, but it's discovery, so they're not actually supposed to be debating the case. So she's essentially saying the court won't take an opinion on whether or not they won't use these to influence their decision. I just thought this was funny because, like, of course, to write this all out, you have to think, like, a lot about it. So, of course, it's going to influence their decision. But I think it's kind of funny because she literally says right here that these are some of the most important parts of the case that we're ruling on right here. And it won't influence my decision. But I personally think it will. I don't know how you could go through this and be like, what? Didn't take anything from any of this. Let's keep going. This is the first one. Ripple moves to compel the SEC to identify all terms of the contract that the SEC contends expectation of profit. So essentially, she's telling the SEC, essentially Ripple's asking the SEC, all right, so where in any of our sales of XRP were the buyers of XRP essentially promised they would get profit from this investment? Essentially, this is part of the Howey test that the SEC claims that XRP is a security because of. And she says that Ripple's essentially question here is precisely and will clarify whether the SEC contends that the terms of any contract identified in response to Ripple's interrogatory. So she's essentially saying this is pretty important to dictating whether Ripple actually sold securities or not, because if the buyers of XRP didn't expect any profits from Ripple, why would XRP be a security of Ripple? And the way she states this, she's essentially saying that this is a very critical aspect, and she's saying kind of to the SEC, and will clarify whether the SEC contends, like, are you guys like still trying to say this? Which I kind of interpret her saying like, this doesn't really make sense. Like, you guys need to answer whether or not you actually think that XRP is a security of Ripple when XRP is not a security of Ripple. Let's keep it simple and just say it that way. She's also saying that the SEC must supplement its response to identify actual specific contracts and not just essentially, like, I don't know what this means, to be honest with you, but she's asking for specifically where is in writing or where was it said that if you invest in XRP, you will expect profits because of Ripple. And obviously that's not going to be anywhere. Ripple is always 10 steps ahead of the SEC. If the SEC had this, it would be a completely different story. They obviously don't. There's nowhere anywhere that says investing in XRP gives you profits from Ripple. And this just blows up their case really early. And the judge is granting this. The SEC is going to have to figure out how to bullshit their way through this one. All right, next one. So defendant's motion. Okay, so compel the SEC whether... Oh, this is pretty interesting. Contends that whether Bitcoin and Ether are securities. And, yeah, so the judge ruled that the SEC is going to have to determine, I believe, that whether or not Bitcoin and Ethereum are securities. And she says it's granted. And she says, I read this under Rule 33b3, which I was a little confused on at first. Essentially just means that I think the SEC now has the ability to object to this, but if they don't object, they have to answer under oath. So I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it seems like in the most part, the judge is saying the SEC needs to say under oath whether Bitcoin or Ethereum are securities unless they object. I honestly don't know what happens if they object. But it wasn't denied, it was granted, so it seems like to some degree this is going to be something. But we'll move on to the next one. There's a couple that end with this Rule 33b3. From my understanding, it seems like if the judge granted it, she's going to want an answer, but I don't know the legality of it, so I won't speculate on that. Third, Ripple moves to compel the SEC in whether it contends efforts by Ripple were necessary to effect any increase in the price of XRP. This is one I actually really love because I just give the example out of saying, like, I sent my girlfriend XRP. She doesn't know what Ripple is. She barely even knows what XRP is. So how could the efforts of Ripple be critical for increasing the price of XRP? She has no idea what Ripple even is. She barely even knows what XRP is. So if she sees XRP going up and Ripple's not doing nothing, how would that be the effect of Ripple? And that also really goes to this other argument that says, oh, it's later on, but we'll get into that in a minute. So yeah, it just means, like, obviously XRP really moves on its own. It's an asset that Ripple uses, but not directly linked to Ripple, and therefore the efforts of Ripple are not necessary to move the price of XRP. They help, but the price of XRP will move either way. Let's keep getting into this. Ripple moves to compel the SEC to identify the entities or ventures, any of which SEC contends XRP holders acquired a stake in SIC, I don't know what this means, by virtue of their purchase of XRP from defendants. So this is actually what I meant with the other example. Yeah, so if I sent my girlfriend XRP, how would she have a stake in Ripple if she doesn't even know what Ripple is, and XRP does not dictate any ownership in Ripple? It really just doesn't make any sense because no one's directly purchasing the XRP via an investment contract from Ripple stating that this gives you equity in the company Ripple. There's a bunch of different nitpicky argument picking at the overall clause that is essentially saying, in order for this to be a security of Ripple, these things must be true. But none of these things are true, and therefore XRP is not a security. It's pretty funny. Like, it's such an easy thing. Like, you have XRP is not a security. And here's 10 different things, reasons why that you can pick at that none of them align with the SEC's accusation of what's going on. But we have to break this down in a legal way to prove that it's not a security. Pretty interesting, guys. I've had honestly fun following this, but let's keep going. So I'll reiterate that one again. I kind of went on a tangent. The enterprise or ventures, if any, in which the SEC contends XRP holders acquired a stake or stake in virtue from the purchase of XRP from the defendants. Yeah, so I hold XRP. Where's my stake in Ripple? It doesn't exist because XRP is not a security. Number 17 is granted, and this one is also, so what I just said was granted, also within 33B3. I already explained that. I don't know. Ripple moves to compel the SEC to identify any evidence that the SEC contends demonstrates that XRP holder had any right as a result of her purchase of XRP to unregistered distribution of alleged securities in complaint to receive any further payment directly from Ripple. So I guess this is kind of saying if Ripple declares a security in the future, if Ripple declares IPO in the future and decides to go public on the NASDAQ, are these holders of XRP going to get a dividend when we declare one because Ripple's actual stock, actual security will declare one? Let's say that. Will the XRP holders get one? Obviously not. It doesn't make any sense because XRP is not a security of Ripple. Let's keep going. And I've said this in another video. If they wanted to call XRP a security of the XRP ledger, I think that could be a decent argument. Like, if the XRP ledger went away, XRP could be a security of that, so it's secured by the ledger. But I don't understand the argument that it's a security of Ripple. That doesn't make any sense. Or like trying to create some new rule for how securities work. And that's why I think this was always a losing argument. It's like, literally what the SEC is contending, they're going to have to answer all these questions, and none of them make any sense. Like, I don't know how you argue this. How do you say that if Ripple down the road declares a dividend, all the XRP holders are entitled to that dividend? There's no contract. It makes no sense. Here's one that was denied. This is the only thing I saw that the SEC won, unless this Rule 33B is something that I don't understand. I looked it up. It literally says must testify under oath. Answer unless objection. If it's granted, like if the judge would just deny it if she didn't think the SEC should answer it. So I assume she's going to force them to answer it. But this one is denied. 6 Larson moves to compel the SEC to contend whether XRP ledger was not fully functional before the start of the ongoing securities complaint. This one was denied, and I actually agree with the judge for this one. Like, it's already like, this is like a step further. Like, was the XRP ledger fully functional? It's like, yeah, it probably was. It's also been being upgraded over time. Like, it probably was fully functional at the time, but what's considered fully functional? They were also using to build out other parts of the ecosystem. Like, I just feel like in terms of everything else stated, this is one of those things where I say the judge threw the SEC a bone. It's like, here, we're going to screw you over with all these things you have to answer that are totally going to blow up your case. But you don't have to say why it was fully functional or not. We know it was functional. Anyway, there was one more. Oh, this was just reiterating all the motions. And at the end, it was pretty funny. The judge essentially told Ripple, you can't ask the SEC to review 28,000 contracts because that's more theater. This is just another one. Like, obviously, the SEC was not going to review any other contracts. That Ripple was just... Essentially, Ripple said, all right, well, we want you to review every single sale of XRP to prove that every single one was a securities contract. And the SEC said, we're not going to review all 28,000. And then Ripple said, oh, you didn't even review the contracts before you sued us. How does that work? And so the judge is essentially calling them out and being like, all right, you guys never wanted them to review 28,000 contracts. You just wanted to call them out for never looking at the contracts, which I think is pretty funny because obviously it gets denied. They're not going to go through this, but it's pretty funny because, I mean, it's funny that the SEC, I mean, the judge actually, like, realized, like, all right, they kind of just did this as a setup to make the SEC look like a bunch of idiots. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. That was my non-legal ruling of this document. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really just kind of put my own like words into like what a lot of this meant. I think I broke it down pretty good. These things aren't too hard to understand. There's definitely technicals that I probably completely messed up. But anyway, I hope this helped you. A lot of times reading these documents aren't that fun, but maybe listening to this video made it a little more interesting. I tried to add some humor to it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like it down below. Keep subscribing to the channel. We're going to be doing these videos until Ripple finally just slaps the SEC across the face, walks out of that office with a currency. That'll be a good day for me. Maybe we'll do a live stream, something fun. Anyway, guys, for now, Mickle out.